Hello programmers and welcome to a new video today. So in today's video we will be talking on an important topic, that is arrays. So arrays is an important theory in computer science which deals with important algorithms, data structures, and is used in every field of computer science. So what is so great an array that makes it such an important type of data structure? We will understand that in today's video. So we will understand how do we insert elements in an array, delete elements, update them in Python programming language. So firstly, let's try to understand what is array exactly mean. So as you can see on the screen, it says array is a collection of like data. So what does this like data exactly mean? It means a set of data which have something in common. Maybe I want to print the set of even numbers and store them in some certain memory. So I could use some array where I could store all the even numbers from maybe 2 to 100. So that would be like 2, 4, 6, 8. I would also use an array to store certain abstract data that is used by the computer. An example of an array is in daily application is where a RAM acquires data just for its quick usage. So there is an important usage where array is used. It is also useful for storing multiple data, and the main efficient part of array is it accesses data in a really efficient and quick manner, and it is also helpful in storing large amount of data. So now let's try to understand how do we create an array, how do we perform all these actions, all these inserting elements, deleting, updating, as I explained earlier. So now let me go to my compiler and try to explain you what I'm talking about and how do we create this array. So as you can see on my screen, I've got this variable saying nums, and I've got a set of items that is 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. So this is the way how you initiate an array. You create a variable and you equate it to an opened bracket where you store certain data. It could be any data, whatever you want. So for this I'm storing even numbers from 2 to 10 including the numbers itself. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and I'm closing it with the square bracket again. So let's just try to print this thing. Print nums. Sorry. Okay, so you can see in my output window I've got these values. That is the output as the list output. And now let's try to check the type of this data that we are storing the numbers in. Okay, and let's see what the output says. So it says a class list. So an important point to remember here is Python stores data in a list. So basically any data you're storing in square brackets is a list, and to access arrays in Python you use a list. And this list has got really great advantages compared to the lists and arrays in other programming language, which helps us in creating efficient programs, and it is also used in data science, machine learning for creating quick and simpler programs. Okay, so now let's go back to this presentation. So now as you can see, I've initiated an array of numbers 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10, and now you see these numbers. Okay, in this image you see certain numbers 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So hear me out. To access an element in an array, you need a unique number that refers to that array, that points to that array in the memory, and these numbers are digits or integers, I'd say, that are called index. So now remember, to access any element in an array, you require its index. Without its index, it would be a bit hassle in finding the element in an array. So with index, it becomes a bit easier to find the position of where the number is stored in an array and access it in constant time without causing problem in the efficiency of our code. So now, as you can see, the indexes start from 0. So this is an important concept in computer science. Any index of an array, be it any programming language, here I'm talking about Python, but it could be C, C++, Java, whatever you're dealing with. But the important point is the array starts its indexing starts with the number 0 and it keeps incrementing by one digit, and there's no floats and system and decimal system of keeping index in this arrays. It's just whole numbers, so it could be 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So here we've got 5 elements and the number of indexes will be n minus 1. Since it's starting from 0, so 5 minus 1, that it gives us 4 indexes. We've got 4 basically it's starting from 0 to 4. So now let's again go to our compiler and try checking out these indexes. So I'll create a variable called value and I'll equate it to nums, and I'll again create an open and close in brackets, and in that I'll put an index number. Okay, so for the timing I'll just keep it simple and just put 0, and now we will print the value. As you can see, this time I get an index and number 2, while not the whole list. The whole list does not get printed, just a single number 2. That means we have accessed the 0th index item from that array. Okay, so now maybe I could try printing 3. So now that we have printed the element present at the 3rd index of the array. So it is a common mistake that new programmers do. They call this the 4th element in the array, but that's wrong. It is the index present at the 3rd position. Remember that the index start always from 0. Okay, so this is really important. Then also we've got slicing methods. So I'll just create a comment saying slicing methods, which help you to create better programs and help you to slice out certain set of items in a list. So I'm repeating the word set of items, means it's going to be more than one item. So how do we do that in index slicing? So what I'll do is I'll create a variable this time called as values, and I'll say nums, and I'll again open and close my square brackets, and I'll create a start index 0 and 2. Okay, so now I've created a start index 0 to 2. And now let's print the values variable and see what's our output. Okay, so as you can see, the 8 is of the previous function. So let me just comment that and reprint it again. So you can see we've got a value of 2 and 4. Okay, so we've got the first 0th index and the first index. But here, as you can see, I printed 0 to 2, means it's starting from 0 with my colon and 2. So you should be thinking we should be printing 2, 4 and 6, but that is wrong. An important point in this array's memory is it will only print the number from the 0th, that is the first argument, till the n minus 1 argument. So here it's getting the only elements that are getting printed is the first element and the second element. Since I specified it will print up to n minus 1 argument. This is really important to understand, and this could be asked in your exam, in an interview, or somewhere wherever you'll be preparing for a programming based competition or exam. They would ask you that, and you should know what's the reason for that, why there are only 2 elements getting printed. So this is really important to know. There's also a concept of negative indexing. So let's try to understand what is that negative indexing. So in negative indexing, what we do is we take our array. Let me just print this array down so that you'll understand what I'm talking. Okay, so we've got an array, and now we start indexing it in a negative manner. Okay, so these index, let me copy them down here. So let me just print this thing, print nums minus 1. So just think about it, what would be the output of this. Okay, just think about it, and I will print it and show you what is the output. Oh, nums is not defined. Okay, let me just comment this whole set of code since I've already worked out on it. And now let's check it out. So nums of minus 1 is 10. And now you think, why did minus 1 get printed as 10? So another important topic in negative slicing is of an array is when you start from negative elements, so the last element will be -1, then the next element will be -2, and this would be -3, -4 and -5. So this is how you print elements with a negative indexing method. Okay, so we are using indexing. In the previous method I showed you positive indexing method, here I am showing you in negative indexing method. Okay, negative indexing method. So -1 will return 2, the last element 10, let's try -2, 8th element, the second last element, and so on. Okay, so now that we have understood how do we basic functions, how to initiate the array, how to index it, how to print its values, let's try to understand how do we update these elements. Okay, so now that I'll show you another set of code that I've created. So I've got this list of students. So imagine there's a sir and he's got these 4 students coming for his tuitions, and he's creating a program which will show him how many students will be present for his whole tuition ceremony. Okay, so what we'll do is, right now he's got 4 students present. Okay, Jack, Tom, Alice and Kane. But what happens is Kane finds another tutor who's teaching him in a better manner, and he doesn't like this sir. So what this sir does is, basically Kane leaves the tuition and this sir doesn't need this student in his array. Okay, so what he will do is he will use a keyword called del, which refers to delete, and he will say del students and the element at which Kane is present. So you could do positive slicing, positive indexing, so it would be 0. Let me just comment this thing and I'll show you. Let me comment this. Okay, this will be 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now he doesn't want Kane in his class. Okay, so what he'll do is just do del students 3, and now let's print the students output. Okay, let's print the students output. Okay, students, and let's check the difference. So as you can see, there's Jack, Tom and Alice, and Kane is no more, since Kane has been deleted from the list using this keyword delete. So again, to delete items from a list, you can use the keyword delete, del. Okay, and now what if he wrote some student's name in his wrong name? Okay, so he thought Tom has taken admission to his college, tuitions I'd rather say, but it's actually Jerry. So is there any way he can change that? Let's check it out. Okay, so what he will do is he will use his list that's named students, and he'll open and close his square brackets, and the index at which Tom is present, he will check out that. So it's not present at index 0 while it's present at index 1. So he will do that. He'll type that down, index 1, and he will equate it to a new name. So what I'll do is Jerry. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll print the previous list before the sir changes the values, and now I'll print the list after updating the values. Okay, let's run this, and as you can see, he previously had Jack, Tom and Alice in his class, but this time there's no Tom and there's Jack, Jerry and Alice. So this is a way we update elements in a list. Okay, and another method of adding items in a list is using the append function. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll say students dot append. It's a function that just adds some item in a certain recurring list. Okay, so maybe there's a new student, I don't know whatever his name is, maybe I'll just say Vishal. So there's a student called Vishal who's joined his classes, so he appends that, and now let's print the list again. So as you can see, he's got this student Vishal into his list, and these are his list of students appearing the exam, his tuitions. Okay, so with this we've understood how we access its items using the index, how we delete using the delete keyword, and again how do we print the elements. It's pretty simple. We just use the print statement of the variable and we print it out, as simple as that. Okay, So there's many methods of operation in a list. So that I will not focus on in today's video, but in today's video I have mostly generalized the main important topics of the list or arrays in Python. Okay, so that's the end of my slide. So thank you for watching the video. Hope you like a video. If you've got any comments, do drop them down in the comment section, and I'll be surely happy and excited to help you out, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.